the positive here is that we easily could have beat, a Super Bowl winning team. All right, Cowboys collective. Let's get into the recap of the Tampa Bay Bucks Dallas Cowboys game. Obviously, the season opener, and I want to just dive in. Some of the good, some of the bad, and let's just start with the negatives. Get it out of the way. So, number one on my negative things, Anthony Brown. He's not the option at quarterback too, and we knew this going in. Anthony Brown's typically been a slot guy his whole career. On the outside, he's never looked particularly good. And this was clearly evident in his matchups against Antonio Brown. He was getting cooked all game, and that leads to making a difference because we only lost by 2 this game. Second thing I want to touch on is the kicking, right? We all know Greg Zuerlein didn't spend a lot of time, in training camp in the offseason, and he was coming off the back procedure. And he is looking rusty. Obviously left 4 points on the board. I'm reading things out there, people saying he left 7 points on the board. I'm not holding him to that 60-yard field goal attempt. I don't think that was the right move at the time to even go for that. Kind of crazy in my opinion. So, and you can't expect a kicker to hit 60 yards consistently. So I'm going to hold him accountable for that missed extra point attempt and that chip shot from 31 that he missed. So ultimately, yeah, that plays a factor in that loss too, right? Because of that differential of 2. And the last negative, and it's not something that's, a big deal. I think it was more matchup related than a personnel problem, but we just didn't get enough pressure on Tom Brady, right? We didn't register a single sack. I think the pressure rate percentage was around 18%. And we know that the Bucs have, a good offensive line. Actually, they got good lines on both sides of the ball. So let's just jump in, to some of the meh. Refereeing, right? There were some horrible calls. Levante David taking his helmet off. If that penalty was called, would have given us a first down in the red zone and could have made a difference for the game. The other one is obviously the Chris Godwin push off. I don't care what you say. People are saying he didn't extend the arm fully. He clearly pushed off on Jordan Lewis, and I'll take that one to the grave. It was a push off for sure. Look at the momentum going into Jordan Lewis. Obviously falls down. It allows him to pick up yards, gets into field goal range, and it helps them win. I get it. As a ref, you really don't want to be put in that position to make that call, and obviously they elected not to make a call in that situation. I disagree with it. I think it was a push-off. Personally, I saw it as a push-off, and that's what I'm rolling with. But yeah, the refereeing, but at the end of the day, you can't let it come down to refereeing. But let's get into some of the positives. And there's a reason I'm rocking the 19 jersey today. Coop went off over 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looked good. A little bit of a scare there on that second touchdown, right? Came down awkwardly. Some were saying they think he hit his hip on the helmet of the defender. Slow to get up. Definitely, gave me a bit of a scare, but man, he was looking nasty out there. We know he's one of the best route runners in the league. I think it was recently he made those comments, right, where he says, he thinks he is the best receiver in the league, but he hasn't proved it yet. And if he keeps playing like this week in, week out, I think others are going to hold him, in that position. Like we've seen his work. We've seen how he attacks the routes, in Hard Knocks. We saw how he was mentoring CeeDee Lamb. The dude is a technician when it comes to that. It's just the fine, minute details, and, his game is unbelievable. So, I think he very well could, be that best receiver in the league. Let's get into one of our other receivers, CeeDee Lamb. So kind of game, right? When you look at the numbers, all the fantasy players are going to be pretty happy with it. But at the end of the day, there's a few key drops. And, I'm not worried about it, right? CeeDee Lamb's got some of the best hands in the game. Obviously, just an off day for him. He's got a huge catch radius. I'm not worried about it. The other thing that people are talking about that's interesting to me is play calling. And some people are complaining, we got Zeke back there. Why didn't we run the ball more? And I'm actually happy with how the game plan went. I think Kellen Moore did a phenomenal job. We look at that front seven on the Bucs. Even just the line, like with guys like Vita Vea were plugging up the holes, like JPP, Dominican Sue. Like, there wasn't really much going there, and I like that we played the matchup. You know, back in the day, we would have criticized Scott Linehan for being too predictable with the run. The fact we moved away from the run, I think it was the right move, right? We were feasting on their corners, and we elected to go, you know, the passing game, and I think that was the right game plan. So I'm not worried about the lack of run. You know, Zeke looked great out there, regardless if it was in, you know, a running role. But his pass protection, he was picking up different blitz packages and whatnot. I thought he had a fantastic game. Yeah, the numbers are going to read what, like 2.9 yards per carry? Doesn't matter. Like, he played his role. He did it well. And I think it was the right move from Kellen Moore to, you know, attack where they were the weakest. You know, the pass game favored us. We went after it. And at the end of the day, you know, we were up with less than, you know, 2 minutes in the game, but they only beat us on the last play of the game on a field goal. So in terms of the game plan, I thought it was okay. And I think the biggest positive coming out of this game, Dak Prescott. You know, the media wrote this guy off, different people saying he's not going to be 100% this year. He's not going to come back 100%. He's not going to be able to throw 100%. Man, he threw. And if that's not his 100%, then the league is on notice because, man, he came out, put up over 400 yards, 3 TDs. Even the one interception went through CeeDee Lamb's hands. And, you know, that's a catch that he definitely could have made. Maybe he was getting a little too pretty with the thrown into, you know, heavy coverage. But, man, he looked accurate out there. I will say, in terms of the read option stuff and the designed run plays, did he look a little bit slower? Yes. But he hasn't played football in a year, and I expect that to come back. But all signs showing, like, when you lock up a QB long term and you plan to invest in this guy, the fact that Dak came out and didn't have to rely on his athleticism like we've seen in his early years, like, he's reading the game so much better. He's making accurate, smart throws. We can put the talk to rest about the ankle, about the lat. Like, Dak put the league on notice last night. So in terms of the full recap of the game, you know, I think there were some negatives. And it's good to get out of the way early, right? This is a benchmark game. We're playing against the Super Bowl champs who retained all starters from their Super Bowl winning season. They got them all back. We come out there and lose by 2. And it's not that we didn't get beat like they were expecting us to, right? Everyone wrote us off. They said we weren't going to have a chance against the Bucs, and they didn't beat us because we lost that game. You know, it was our mistakes that allowed the Bucs to walk away with the win yesterday. We had some, you know, inopportune timing on some holding calls, and that's just a matter of discipline, right? We had the missed opportunities when it came to field goal and the extra PAT. You know, just Greg Zuerlein's rusty. Hopefully we can, you know, get rid of the yips, move on from there. The positive here is that we easily could have beat, you know, a Super Bowl winning team. Absurd. We would have never thought that last year. And, you know, the defense that we have, much improved. 4 turnovers week 1. Like, a couple of years ago, we would probably see 4 turnovers in a season for our defense. So, you know, obviously we've come a long way under Dan Quinn. And, you know, it seems like they're very far removed from, you know, that Mike Nolan era. I think we're all trying to erase that from our memories, but, you know, the Cowboys put the league on notice last night, and, man, I'm just hyped as ever for this season. So let me know what you guys thought of last night's game. You know, are you feeling optimistic about the season? Do you think we need to go out there and find a veteran corner for that CB2 position? Let me know what you guys think. You know, Cowboys Collective out.